I'll start it off. So, hi everyone. I've said hi to a few of you already, but I'm Kushi. I am currently studying at the University of Sydney. I just finished my Bachelor of Commerce degree and I majored in finance. And I'm due to finish my Bachelor of Laws degree in 2 years. So alongside studying here in Australia, it's quite common that you work while you study as well. So I also work at KPMG in their law department. I'm sure many of you are familiar. I know Delhi has a KPMG office. I've seen a few times. So I'm sure there's one somewhere in Bangalore. And so I work there 2 days, 3 days a week, 2 days uni. Outside of that, I have my own interests. For some of you that know, I do Bhangra on the outside of work, and you need to stay connected to my culture. So, and I do visit India every year. So I've got family there. And that's a bit about me academically and personally, but I'll hand it off to Tia to tell you a bit about herself.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Well, my name's Tia. I'm currently studying at the University of Sydney as well. I moved to Sydney at the start of last year to study because I'm actually from New Zealand. So I'm studying a Bachelor of Advanced Computing, and I major or specialize in cybersecurity and international relations. So more interested in the political side of technology and governance. I've got 2 more years left of my degree, and I'm also working alongside study. So I work for a company called ID Care, and we deal with people who have had their identity stolen online, and we try and help them out so it doesn't worsen, or to help them get their identity back. So I do that 2 days a week, and then I'm at university 3 days a week. And yeah, I've got a few personal hobbies as well. I love photography. I love just any artistic outlet, and I love watching film as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tia. I guess we have Natasha joining in as well. Hi, Natasha. Good evening.
Hello. Hi, good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks.
So we're just going around with a brief introduction. Would you please give your brief as well, Natasha?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Natasha. I am a third year law and commerce marketing student at Macquarie University. I moved to Sydney from Perth in Western Australia when I was 19 for university. So didn't know anyone in Sydney and kind of came in and made the best of it. And now I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm working at an insolvency and restructuring firm in the city. I'm doing marketing and business development work for them. So for those of you who may not know, insolvency is basically when a business is struggling, they'll come to us and we'll either restructure it, make some management changes, or liquidate it if it's not going to be commercial. Yeah. So, and then I think the question was, what do I like to do for fun? I like to spend time with my friends, to go see live music, and yeah, just be outside, I guess. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else has joined, Kushi, from your team? Are we three of you?
I think it's the three of us today.
Wonderful. I just want to give a very brief about Prerana and myself. So Prerana is a non-profit organization which is more than 30 years old now. We majorly work with kids who are in college, studying their undergrad programs. They're studying to work tomorrow. So today's education is tomorrow's employment. And we provide them with skills like communication skills, soft skills. And we also provide financial assistance in the form of scholarships. So there are students from across the state of Karnataka. Many of them would be the first person in their family to go to a college. And they would have studied in a vernacular medium, which is a Kannada language in Karnataka. So English is definitely a foreign language for many of us. And add to that, anything which is slightly different English, like Australian English, would surely be but this we believe would be a great exposure for many of our students to interact with people who are just like them, but they are so many miles away and doing so many different wonderful things. So we thought we start off with this interactive sessions and see where our interest would take us. We can go around all our students for introduction. They would be happy to do. But given the time that we have, I want to ask you whether you would like to hear from everyone, or would you like to randomly pick a few and ask them to introduce? I leave that to you for your time management, Kushi.
I'm not too fast. It's completely up to you on how you want to structure today. If you have questions you'd like to go through or anything, we're happy to structure time according to what you prefer.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. So I would request our students, whoever has any question to ask, feel free, raise your hand. And when it is your turn to ask question, give a very short introduction about yourself and go ahead with the question so that our friends Australian friends will know about you as well as your questions at the same time. Would that work, Kushi? Would that be good?
That works perfectly fine. Tia or Natasha, if you prefer it some other way, just tune in and let us know.
No, that sounds perfect. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Over to you, students. Anyone, feel free to raise your hand. Okay. Sunaina?
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Sunaina Iram. I am studying in second year of BCom, third semester in Government First Grade College, Kanakpura. My hobbies are singing and drawing, and my ambition is to become a bank manager. And I also have an interest to compete in competitive exams. So I have the question that I have more interest in the financial field. So how to get more and more knowledge of financial field?
I can take that one because I do study finance. So, hi, Sunena. I just graduated my finance degree 2 months ago. And I'll be honest, I never wanted to do finance. So, but with that being said, I do think I started enjoying finance at the end of my degree because I started getting work experience in it. So I'm not sure how the opportunities in Karnataka and around there are like, but I would really suggest finding work experience, even if it's volunteer work experience, just 1 or 2 days a week, if that's manageable with your studies and other commitments. But if that's not, then I think online there are lots of resources in terms of how finance works in the real workspace, because your degree doesn't really teach you that much about what working in a particular sector is like. So, for example, you can get a subscription to, like in Australia, we have the AFR, the Australian Financial Review. So, like, it's a newspaper, and we have subscriptions that we read it every day and see what's the financial news in the world. Because I think finance is a sector where you really need to be up to date with what's happening in the economy every day. Because everything hinges on how the market's performing, especially in today's world, where you've got so many things after COVID, the inflation pressures right now. That makes it really important to stay up to date every single day. So I would suggest, if work experience is not possible for practical reasons, I would actually get a subscription for a financial paper in your area. I think the Financial Times, I'm not sure if that's the Indian paper equivalent. I would get a subscription of that and I would read the headlines every day and try and think about, okay, based on what I'm learning in my degree, why is this what's happening in the world? Like, why is there inflation? How is this affecting stock prices? And I think that's how you start really thinking about how your degree works practically.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank you. It will be helpful for me.
For sure.
All right. Thank you, Sunaina, thank you, Kushi. We're moving on to Jyoti.
Hello, ma'am. This is Jyoti S, and I'm currently pursuing my final year BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration in Sheshajipuram Institute of Commerce and Management. So my question is, I'm doing my specialization in HR, Human Resource Management. So I'm more interested towards handling humans because I'm good at it. My communicationship and leadership skills are fine. I mean, I think I have the theory knowledge, but not the practical exposure of human resource, how to really handle it in company. Would you give some points or just a points to just improve myself?
I would actually love to take this question because I feel like even though marketing is slightly different to human resource management, there are some crossovers. So very similar to yourself, I actually started in my marketing role with no experience. So I went to a university open day and I met some people and they happened to have a job. It was kind of an amazing moment. But I remember being very anxious that, I don't have any experience with people or marketing or things like that. But I think that you seem like an outgoing person who can put themselves out there and have a conversation. And the thing with human resource management is if you're good with people and if you're interested in people, I think that is like the most important thing. Like if you have a love and interest in people and you like connecting, and you can build those relationships. It's a lot about trust. It's a lot about reading and understanding what's going on, and trying to solve problems which work for higher management and also are protecting employees. So my advice to you would be keep having conversations with as many different people as possible, learn about as many different people as possible, and put yourself out there and have conversations. And you would be so amazed at where you can get from just starting conversations with different people in different contexts and situations. So yeah, just keep talking to people. That's my advice to you.
Thank you so much.
Something?
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I'm just going to add something there, because I completely agree with what Natasha said, but I would also say, in India, given that there's so many people around, you're always talking to people. I would also say that as HR, it's very important to develop your network. And I would suggest that you should, I'm not sure if you guys already use LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn popular in India?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. It
Yes.
is.
Do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Yes, ma'am. We have our profiles.
Okay, so I would kind of focus on expanding your network on there. And I would also look at, and because what Natasha's saying, conversation is really important, and that can also happen digitally. And I think, sometimes you just come across some people, and after a few years, as a HR person especially, you think about vacancies, etc. If you've got demand, you're trying to meet that demand. And your network is what you rely on to fill that up. So I would say focusing on LinkedIn, reading what HR managers across the world post about in terms of workplace culture, community, etc. I think that might be very helpful as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kushi. Okay, we have the next question coming from Ramya Shri.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Ramya.
Okay. My name is Ramesh Rayana. I'm currently pursuing second year BSc Nursing in Sanjay Gandhi College of Nursing, Bangalore. And my ambition is to become an IAS officer, and my hobbies are singing and drawing. So when I enter to the LinkedIn internet, so I have seen an option like medicine and healthcare. Can you explain about that something briefly?
You want the question, little more clarity on the question? Can you just say that one more time? Your question, Ramesh Shri?
Sir, I have seen the option like medicine and healthcare. I want to know more about that from them.
In LinkedIn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are options on healthcare and medicine under LinkedIn. Perhaps if I can little paraphrase that, how can Ramya Shri make use of LinkedIn in her field, which is healthcare and medicine? That perhaps could be a...
Tia or Natasha, did you have any insights on that one?
I don't have, my dad is in medicine. That's probably the closest I have. Does anyone else have anyone better to speak from authority or?
Unfortunately, I don't have much knowledge in that background either.
Okay.
I can, oh, you go. No, you go.
Go ahead, Natasha, you go first.
Okay, I'll start. So my dad is a urologist in Western Australia, and he does a lot of research, a lot of charity involvement and things like that. So I think if you wanted to kind of expand your networks using LinkedIn for medicine, I would definitely focus on those kind of non-for-profit organizations, because I think that there would probably be a lot more opportunities. I think they would be more open to engagement from you, but that's kind of just a guess. But do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, sure. I feel like I could add something there. So with LinkedIn, especially in medical and healthcare, I think that area, especially if you're trying to be an IAS officer, I'm aware the exams for that, you need to have a really vast understanding of global healthcare, and then you have to tune it into different parts of India. And of course, that includes rural healthcare as well. So I would say if you're using LinkedIn, go macro and then go micro. So when I say go macro, I would say follow the LinkedIn pages of universities like University of Sydney. I'm not doing a promotion here. University of Sydney or universities overseas like Harvard, etc. All of these universities have research that they're doing like all the time on medicine and healthcare. Like for example, I think a month ago, the University of Sydney came up with an anti-venom for snake bites, and it was quite like revolutionary in that space. I don't know the exact details. I actually did a medical science degree and then left it and did my finance degree. So I would say follow university boards on LinkedIn. I would say look into Indian healthcare, because I think the healthcare system in India, if I'm not wrong, there's a lot of burden on it because of like the difference between resources and population. So I think especially if you're going down the IAS path, I think there's a lot of innovation in that space. So I would focus on the intersection between medicine and health and innovation. And you can do that by reading blogs on LinkedIn, whether that be from rural Indian. I'm sure there are a lot of organizations. And then also India has very sophisticated infrastructure in medicine that they outsource, obviously, to other places. Look into that, because the healthcare professionals in India are next level because of the amount of experience that they have. But then I'd also follow universities outside, because they are the ones who are doing leading edge research into healthcare.
Yep, wonderful. Just continuing on the same line, I was reading an article about the kind of research that's happening on mpox in the recent 1 year, because it is spreading heavily in Africa today, So yeah, catching up on such things. So mpox may not be an issue in India, but there are something different which can be compared. Wonderful. Thank you, Kushi. Thank you, Natasha. Okay, next is Vaishnavi.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. And good afternoon, Canada. My name is Vaishnavi and I am studying in third year BCom in Shishadipuram College. I'm very much interested in finance field, and my question is, to be a financial analyst, what are the required skills that one should have?
It's almost like a repeat question, slight variation, but I think Kushi covered that last time. Go ahead, Kushi, if you can take that question, please.
Sure. Hi, Vaishnavi. So with finance, I'm not sure how different it is in India, but for example, here, a lot of the big banks like investment banks, etc., a lot of the skills are heavy on using Excel and modeling. So in terms of if you split up soft skills and hard skills, so soft skills being obviously you need to know how to be able to communicate, because when you're a financial analyst, you understand the numbers, you understand the models, but your boss doesn't. Your boss at the end of the day is a businessman who needs things simplified to them. So I would say the skill of communication and articulation, which is how well you can communicate your ideas in your head in speech. I think those are very, very important skills, and quite overlooked in finance, because in finance, you're often behind the computer. And in terms of hard skills, I would say financial modeling on Excel is really, really important. It sounds basic, But when you get into the real world, they will ask you to make models of cash flows, knowing how to make a discounted cash flow model, knowing how to know your basic accounting you need to be able to understand. And the other thing, which I mentioned in my first answer with finance is, and this is very overlooked, being up to date with financial news. I cannot stress that enough. It is incredibly important in finance. So I think as a start, that's a really good foundation.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kushi. All right. Next, we'll go to Nagamani.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for giving this opportunity to introduce myself. I am Nagamani. I am currently studying in second year BCom, Government First Grade College, Kanakapura. My ambition, chartered accountant. Many people ask, CA is a very difficult subject. It is not possible. I am asked the question, how to study CA in any tips, ideas?
Would you like to take that question? CA, you know, the chartered accountancy in India. I'm sure you have something similar there. It could be a CPA or something else, perhaps, right? Or CFA.
Yeah. Tia or Natasha, do you want to take either of you?
I can probably take this one. So I work with a lot of chartered accountants. So I'm not sure how it works for you in India, but in Australia, you'll do a commerce degree majoring in accounting, and then you'll go into the workforce. And then after maybe a year of working, your work may nominate you to do your chartered accountancy course. So you were asking for tips in relation to how to manage your course. Is that correct?
That's right, Natasha.
Tips. I think that because the thing with university is it can be very kind of technical, and you can kind of lose that real world understanding of why this is important. And you can do a whole, 3-year degree of all these numbers and these scenarios and these questions, and you can kind of get a bit down and think, why am I studying this? Why is this interesting? But, accounting is the world runs because of accountant. My boss says accountants run the world. That's what he loves to say. And it's true. And if you understand accounting, you are a massive asset to any business. It's fundamental. So I would say, don't forget the bigger picture with accounting, and try and, draw on real world experiences in which you can make it interesting. And, work experience is always the go-to, but if you can't do that, just try and find examples on the internet or wherever that can make your study relevant and interesting and keep that bigger picture interest open. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Natasha. Keeping the interest open. I think that's the mantra.
Yeah, 100%.
Because one of the pitfalls for a lot of students who pursue chartered accountancy is they get tired very soon because it's very taxing, pun unintended. So it's a very taxing thing to do a CA, and we have to keep our interest going all the time. Thank you so much. Okay, over to Sanjana.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanjana. I just completed my Bachelor of Commerce in Finance. My question is how to protect our data from cyber attacks. Since Tia said that she is a cyber security expert, I just want to know a few suggestions from her. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay. Great question. That's a very, very big question. And it's something that I deal with every day at work. How can individuals and also larger like companies and corporations protect their data? And we find that 90% of the cases that come through, so we have every day we'll have maybe 100 cases where someone or some company's data has been stolen. And most of the time it's attacked or taken through the simplest routes. So lack of strong passwords, getting sort of laid back with how we manage things online, because it doesn't really seem, when things are digitalized, they don't seem as important or as prominent as a physical object, and so we get lazy. And so, yeah, we find that just the smallest, simplest slip-ups are what is the reason behind the majority of the world's data being stolen or exposed. So I would say, yeah, not overlooking the simple practices. So passwords, making sure that you're changing things, passwords, credentials constantly. Yeah, treating it like your own house key, not just letting it sit on some note on your laptop. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Because the way we treat a key, a house key or a bank a locker key, the sense we get when you look at a key, we don't get when we look at a password. So when we set up a password, it's so casual. You're so correct. Yeah,
And on top of that as well, I think through my new job, I've really realized the importance of not just passwords, but also like your mobile number or your email, even putting small things like your last name out online, your university. Of course, it's fine to put these details out, but the more you do, the more that there is to compromise. So just being careful and double checking, do I really need to put that out there?
Yep. So true. Thank you, Tia. Okay, we move on to Chetan.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's great to see all you here. So my name is Chetan Kumar, and I just passed my Bachelor of Commerce, and I have also taken my accounting degree from United Kingdom ACCA. So my first question is, as I'm interested in international business and finance and also with the private equity investment banking, I just have a few questions here. If somebody who wants to explore international opportunities, especially in the countries like Australia and United Kingdom, I want to know, not just having a mere degree, along with these global certifications, how is the scope in Australia with these ACCA certifications? I have already cleared my 7 papers. So I want to know what is the ground reality in there with these accounting certifications.
Okay, I might take this one. Just to clarify, are you asking what the opportunities are for with your certifications? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so look, accounting is in demand in Australia, which is all I can really speak from. Accounting is in demand. Less people are wanting, which is good news for you because it just means it's slightly less competitive than certain other areas. I think that, so once again, I can speak from what I know, which is insolvency. And the thing with accounting is there's so many different kind of specialties which you wouldn't even think that you could end up in. But insolvency is something which is highly in demand right now, and there are a lot of job opportunities. It's just something which people don't really think of going into. So my advice to you would be to do some detailed research about what kind of accounting fields are in demand in Australia, and to probably target there, because once you get into one place, all of the kind of opportunities flow from there. So if you can figure out, where the opportunity is in Australia, and apply for jobs from there, you'll be able to pivot to investment banking or anything else that you were interested in. But I'm always an advocate for insolvency because it essentially teaches you how business works. So it's a great foundation and it's also in demand. But yeah, that's my advice.
Wow,
Sure.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Natasha, I can add that knowing more about insolvency, at least you will protect yourself from becoming insolvent at some point in time if things go
Let's
down.
hope.
True. All right. Next, we'll move to Supriya.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. I am Supriya SS, studying BSc Fashion and Apparel Designing in VT Bangalore. So my question is that my aim is basically to start my own apparel brand. So what initial step do I need to work on it? So I don't I don't belongs to this apparel background. So I am the first one who took this. So I need some information regarding this.
Wow.
I can take that one if that's all right. So
Before you start, Kushi, you can have a deal with her to make you a partner once she starts.
An equity stake?
Because for all the consulting you do, you should get a share.
No, as long as Supriya sends me some of her clothes, I'm happy. I'm okay. I don't need the equity stake. Thank you for your question, Supriya. So in India, if you're thinking of starting, I think the main thing you'd probably have to think of is first market research in terms of understanding who your product is going to, because India is a very, very competitive market when it comes to apparel. But at the same time, competition means opportunity as well, because in India you have Indian apparel, you have Western apparel, you have so much to work with. And also in India, people spend money on clothes. There is a market everywhere, and there's a niche. You can go from, like, when I say market research, the whole point I'm trying to make is you want to understand how to position your product. So is it going to be a premium product? Is the pricing going to be like that? Is it going to be for mid-market? Is it going to be for low market? What's your margin like, etc. So once you've thought of your product, because product is everything, especially if you look at case studies like Amazon, they prioritize their product, like their service, over everything. So once you've got your product, then I would focus on like entrepreneur, because you're basically being an entrepreneur here. So you'd have to think about financing. Do you do bootstrap financing, which basically means, do you start with your own resources? Do you ask family for a bit of investment? Do you test a few things? I would also suggest looking into e-commerce. Like, you don't need to distribute in person, especially in today's age. It's crazy that, like, I'm sitting here in like my house in Sydney talking to you guys over there right now. So like technology is obviously your friend here. Think about e-commerce distribution. I actually have an auntie who just started a brand in India last week. And the way she started was she's doing saris from Varanasi. So she ordered a batch, she did an exhibition, and now she's moving it online so that there's a bit of buzz. And a lot of things I would say go into marketing. And I think, Natasha, you in marketing, was that right? Yeah. You can probably add more insight, but I would say marketing is like the number one thing, especially in India. Like there's a saying in Hindi, I don't know if you would understand Hindi, but jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. So if you can see it, it's gonna sell. And so I don't know if Natasha has any insights on the marketing side of things, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, look, I don't have too much to add. I think it will completely depend on the market, which you guys seem to have a much better understanding. But I just want to say good luck, and it's so exciting to have an idea, and that's really exciting for you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natasha. May I request Smita, one of our volunteers, who is very much into the same field, to put in her few words, please.
Yes. So hi guys, hi Kushi, hi Natasha. Firstly, thank you so much for giving these people such good insights. Right, they find it really exciting to meet with you people and get these insights. So just to add on to what Kushi and Natasha said, right? I think Kushi was on point. In India, the market is so huge that you need to make sure to see which market you are targeting. What are your target audiences like, right? Whom are you selling at the end of the day? Your product at the end of the day is for your customers. So make sure you know to whom you're selling your product to. Also, since this is into design, design is majorly very creative, but is your target audience accepting your creativity is also one thing that you would have to see, especially in India, right? Because India as a market is not very open to too many creative things at the moment. We're yet to go on the road, quickly adapting things and all of that. Like the Western market, it doesn't work that way. So like again Kushi said, know your niche, put your creativity into what might sell, and balance it out. And once you do your research, you will already have a narrowed down path to how you can start off. And again, I think Prerana is there to help them
Mhm.
go to the next steps. So slowly you can take up the next steps. You'll start getting ideas and network with a lot of people in the industry, outside the industry, in the business world as common, not specifically into fashion, because any business needs every be it accounting, marketing, all of this, and a lot of fundamentals are the same for any business. So it's very important to network with a lot of people, gain insights from them, and see how you can adapt it to your own business. Yeah, these are the few tips I could give.
Thank you, Smita.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, wonderful. You got maximum, Supriya. So
Yes, sir.
a lot of investment already going into your business.
Yeah, so thank you for this
Right.
opportunity.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm very, very happy for you because coming from a family of a rural background, first person to go to college and take up the fashion, she has a lot of things to juggle, at home and outside too. So we are all there to give you, as much support and motivation we can. So you can always count on us, and we'll be there to support you.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll go to Yashaswini.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to all. My name is Yashaswini. I have completed my BCom at Gupta College in Bangalore. And my question, I'm interested in IT career. My question is, what steps should I take in my IT career to become a CEO?
Okay. She is not asking for how to get into IT career. She knows that. She was asking about how to become a CEO when I start my IT career. Very confident person.
Tia, Natasha, did either one of you want to take this one?
I'm good if you want to answer.
So could I just have the question asked again? Sorry, just for clarification.
Yeah. So Yashaswini wants to, she has completed her graduation in commerce, and she is going to get into IT career. Now she wants to know from you, what should she do to become a CEO, of an IT company in due course?
Right. So an IT.
IT.
Oh, perfect. Well, I think I'm not too sure how much I can speak on the CEO aspect of it, but straight off the bat, it was mentioned earlier in the finance world, a lot of people get really good at their job, but you're sort of stuck behind a computer and you don't have this sort of multifaceted skill set. So if you're looking at the IT world as it is already, a lot of people are only focused on the technical side, sitting behind their desk, programming, sort of getting the job done, almost like another cog in the wheel, like a human sort of machine. And I think straight away, as soon as anyone in that field starts thinking wider, as you already are, I think having your eyes set on CEO is amazing. I just think I'm not too sure what advice I could give to get to that point, but I just wanted to highlight the very fact that you're interested in that space and you're already thinking about big leadership roles and the people side of it, and how, yeah, not just the technical is a rare sort of outlook in that field. Is there can anyone else have anything to add?
I can add one thing. I think that for a CEO, you want to know how to get things done. And being a CEO is about understanding your strengths and also about understanding what aren't your strengths. And if you're aspiring to be a CEO, a lot of people kind of get pulled into ego games as they're kind of climbing the corporate ladder, and but my advice is know how to get things done and know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are and be super aware of them. Because if you're the CEO, you're going to be the downfall of your business ultimately if you kind of don't keep your ego under control. But yeah.
Wow.
Just to echo what both girls have said so far, as a CEO, you're more of a business person than a technical specialist. With that being said, you do need to understand the technical side, but I would say you should focus on, like, if you break it, it's a very big goal. If you break it up into small steps, the first thing would be, okay, when I get a job and I'm in a workplace, if it's IT, I need to understand how the business of IT works, not exactly how a certain software is coded. That's important as well, but you need to understand, because I think Natasha said you need to get things done. That means you need to be able to make decisions. You're good at decision making. You're only good at decision making when you understand how a big organization works and how different factors affect one choice or one decision. And you only get that when you're working in a job, but not from the perspective of, my boss gave me 5 things to do today. If I don't finish by 5 p.m., I'm not going to be able to go home at 6 and have my chart by the road. You have to think about, if I finish at 5 p.m., I have all my tasks, why is my boss having me do this task? What's the big picture? Where does this one thing fit in? I think that, and that's kind of also called managing up. So I'm not sure, I think in India, I'm not sure if still the organization structure is quite hierarchical, like there's the chain of command. Here in Australia, we do have that, but it's a little bit more flatter. So for example, I can talk to my boss. However, I know it's a little odd, like we call our bosses by our names, and it's very casual here. But I'm saying when you're in a more structured workplace, it's even more important to understand how your work is going from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, and why is it going through that chain of command.
Yep. Wow. I'm sure it was really an important question. It was more of thinking for ourselves than actually thinking for her. Amazing. Thank you so much. Next,
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time and information.
Okay. So, Seema, you want to say something?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Seema. I'm a volunteer with Prerana for past 3 years. So I have a 25 years of experience in my IT career, worked for Motorola, Target, and few other companies. So that's a quick intro about myself. So because it is connected to IT and, CEO, I just wanted to chime in. All the points that Natasha, Tia, and Kushi said were perfectly right. To be a CEO, you should always be, you should be seen as a person out of the crowd. You cannot be one among the crowd, and you should get that difference in the way you present, you work, and you actually have the hands-on knowledge. You cannot just read and talk. Being a CEO, you should be able to really drive things by telling that, okay, this need not have to be done in this way. You can do it this way also. As if you should have hands-on also, and network, which all of you spoke again and again. Build your network. Risk taking, not just decision making. You should be able to take the risk when there is a need. So these are some of the things that I just wanted to share. And all the best, Yashaswini. We all look forward from Prerana to see you as a CEO, and we would be proud to have one.
Yeah, also I wanted to add one thing, Ramsa, because this is just what
Thank
I
you
saw
so
last
much,
week, right? So I was just going through different courses as to how I can, so I'm an entrepreneur, and, every day is a challenge for me to handle people and, how to behave with them. Being a little young, handling older people of the organization sometimes seems a little challenging for me and all of that. So I keep looking at different courses. And I think right now in India, the amount of executive courses that are being provided for any one of us right now at a very minimal amount is kind of it's just shocking to see it online, right? There are so many courses on IIM, which I just went through for CEO training itself. So, if somebody is looking to go up the ladder soon, right, you get the amount of experience that you want in an industry. You understand the complete management, like Kushi said, and you take up these courses because it enhances the knowledge of what actually happens in the real industry. And these are very short time courses, which give you the exact clarity as to what really happens there. So I think a lot of them can look over that too.
Okay, thank you, Smita. Okay, we have 15 minutes into our time. We have 3 students raise a hand, so we'll stop at Sanjana P, and we will try to average less than 5 minutes per each student now. Ayman, please go ahead.
Yeah. So hi everybody. My name is Ayman Farah, and I've recently completed my bachelor's in chemistry and mathematics. So next I'm going to do my master's in chemistry. So to be honest, I'm a girl who is more likely interested in science. And I was never really interested in commerce subjects like finance, banking, management, and entrepreneurs, all that. So I just have one general question. So looking back, is there anything you wish you had done differently in your careers?
I don't think I've started my career yet. So I'm also still studying and working. One thing I do wish I did differently was, I think, realizing the importance, and this topic has come up so much today, but networking is the make and break. I think if you asked someone this question 10, 15 years ago, I know networking would still be important there, but it's even more important today. Today, if you want to do even in anything like science or chemistry, it sounds very technical, but you need to know the right people in order to get the right opportunities. And it's very daunting because in India and around your community, you only meet a few people and you think there's such a big world out there. How do I break out? How do I meet more people? That's when social media and technology are really your best friend. And so, if we get time away from scrolling on Reels, it is important to find online webinars, connect with people who you're interested like in the work that they do. Like, for example, if you like the work of a researcher at a certain university, send them a message on LinkedIn, be like, hi, I read your paper. I liked this thing about it. How did you think about this line of reasoning? Like, show your interest, and not just the sake for marking a box off. Do it because you're interested in it, because people can tell when you're not making a genuine connection with them. So I really wish I learned that earlier on. And I also think earlier on, I wish I didn't stress so much about having a path laid down in front of me. Because I'll be honest, in year 12, when I was in my +2, I did never wanted to do law, never wanted to do finance. And here I am doing both. So I started off wanting to be a doctor. Specifically, I wanted to be a dentist. I don't know why. But now I'm doing law and finance and I love it. With that being said, I don't think I'm going to be a lawyer. I think I'm going to run my own business. So don't stress about what's the next step as much. Focus on creating skills like having a network and having a presence with people and having genuine connections with people.
Wonderful. Genuine connection is the key here. Thank you, Kushi. Okay, we'll move to Sandhya.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am pursuing second year Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Computer Science. So give me any advice for improving coding skills in computer science.
Perfect.
Don't worry, Sandhya. We have a lot of coders in India and Bangalore. They can give you advice. But please go ahead, Tia.
Well, I'm the second year of my degree. I started computing with no background knowledge at all. And for me, a programming language is pretty similar in how you would learn a spoken language, like English. I find that you get way better at it when you're actually putting it into practice. So instead of trying to write out specific lines or memorize things, flashcards, all of that, I would focus on picking a mini project and trying to create something. When I'm programming, I like to think of it almost as an art form, like I'm building something. I'm not just typing words into a screen. So yeah, trying to view it as a creative outlet, I think for me, it helps me enjoy it more as well. And then on top of that, it's so important to learn how to program in a team. So it's sort of like if you were trying to write an essay in a group, people have their own styles, the way they want to lay things out, the way they think things should be. So I think if you've got any friends or fellow students, getting together and having a little project that you can create and have on your own portfolio would be amazing. But yeah, that's my advice.
Wonderful. I just want to add
Thank you.
one word to that. Before you even get into coding, Sandhya, think of computational thinking first. Computational thinking.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I like to think of it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, all good. That's why I like to think of it sort of as an art form as well, because yeah, it's the computational thinking. There's no one right way to do it. It's very creative in that sense.
Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Sandhya. Sanjana?
Hi everyone, great to see you all here. My name is Sanjana P. I'm currently pursuing my second year BE in a field of information science and engineering at Prerana Institute of Technology. I have two questions here. I would like to know about the technology in a field of finance, accounts, and banking. What are the different technology in these fields? And one more question. The second question is in any field. So in any field, there will be a clients and there will be customers. So we need to handle some credentials or important accounts with respect to clients. So we'll be having a very important credentials. So there will be hackers who are trying to hack some accounts and all. So how to be get alert from these things?
Kushi, did you want to take the first question relevant to finance?
Sure, and then do you want to take the second one?
Yeah.
Tech and me, no thanks. But when it comes to finance and the tech sphere there, I would say it's evolving day by day. So for example, I work in the legal field, and in the legal field, you have financial sectors. So providing clients with financial advice on their transactions. One thing at work is AI, for example, has become massive. Like, how there's Chat GPT, they are actually finding ways to embed that into providing advice to clients. Now, they're doing a lot of studies on it. And in the law field, it's very unreliable. In finance, I guess and banking, it can help a starting point. But I'll be honest, there is a lot of automation of jobs in banking now. For example, a lot of the big banks here, you'll notice now when you go to a bank, sometimes it's not even someone there at the teller desk, it's a machine. And this is in like only a few branches right now. It hasn't gone so widespread, but it's starting. So I'm saying it's more important now either to understand how the technology works or understand a very technical skill, or thirdly, people skills, because that a robot can never do. So you need to either be really good at what you do technically, either have great people skills that a robot can't replace you, which is why I think law is quite a technology-proof sector, because technology can't really take over the client advice giving skill, because you did mention that every business has a client-facing side, and that's very important. And while there is technology coming in there, providing service as well as a human can is based on relationship management. How good are you at managing your relationship with someone? And when that's in business, it can be in banking, it can be in finance. It's important to understand needs. It's important to communicate well. And that doesn't mean talking fancy. It means, again, genuine connection. I understand your problems as a business, as a client. Where can I provide services to fill that gap in? And how do we keep this long term? Right. So it's like aftercare services as well, checking in with your clients, things like that. That kind of thing, that human touch, technology can't really get rid of. But with that being said, you do need to be cautious and work with technology, not be intimidated by it, I would say. Tia, off to you, because I don't know how to talk about the credentials.
All good. Was your question revolving around how to deal with financial credentials to secure them? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. But the hackers will try to hack some accounts. So how do we get alert?
I think for the everyday person at the moment, the best way to secure credentials like financial credentials would be to implement a password manager. So a lot of the time people think keeping credentials physically, so writing them down is the safest way, but it's often found that that's not the case, especially if you lose them, first of all, but also if someone else gets their hands on them. So I would recommend doing your research and having a Google at some password managers. That would be the best route to go.
Yep.
I would also say for example, at KPMG, we get email drills on phishing. And not like normal phishing, like I used to think it was normal phishing for the longest time. Like PHISH phishing. So they give us a little training, like for example, in your email address, you need to make sure the domain is legitimate. So if it's @ and then whatever, it needs to be legitimate. You need to know if they're asking you to click on random links, don't do that. Because it will take you to a wrong site. You need to, if they're saying, oh, open this link, and you don't know who the sender is, don't open the link. Check who signs off on it, check for spelling errors, check for all that. That's what they really make us do at work as part of our training. But I don't know if you guys have experienced that yet.
Yeah. We don't have any such trainings or drills as such. But I would just add to what Tia was saying, that you develop a personal algorithm. Very difficult for anyone else to copy that. It's there somewhere here. That's very, very personal to you. Not many people would know about it. And once you have that algorithm, you don't need to write anywhere. You don't need to depend on anything else external. I would say that. I know a lot more students would be wanting to raise their hand and ask questions, but one of the training that we give is also in time management. So we need to do that and respect everyone's time. While it's time for your dinner, it's time for our lunch here. We have a fantastic time difference of 4.5 hours. But I really want to, I'm so thrilled. I was telling our students before you guys came in that this is going to be a great experience, and we are all a little nervous also how we are going to, be able to make best out of this. But this has been super, satisfying. And I know a lot of students would go back thinking, I had this question I wanted to ask, that makes it a little more, asking for you and your team to make this even more, regular possible, and more of you can come and interact with many, many more of our students. But today, I really want to thank Kushi, Tia, Natasha for joining on a Sunday evening, taking all these questions, answering them. I'm sure all of us had a wonderful time. I hope you two, or you three also had a wonderful time interacting with us. And Kushi, anything you want to say as a closing remarks, or your team, please go ahead.
I just want to thank you, especially for having us on. I think this is a two-way panel almost. We learn as much as you think that you might be getting from us. We're very privileged to have this opportunity to talk to everyone. I, for one, am happy if anybody wants to send me a question through, or if there's something that you really want to know about law or anything you might think I might be of help with. I'm happy for Ram if you want to pass on my email or something. But I'll thank you everyone. It was lovely speaking to the people I did get a chance to speak to. I would like to see a few of you next time ask questions if you have any. But I'll pass it off to Tia and Natasha.
Perfect. Yeah, you covered most of it off. I just wanted to say thank you for having us as well. And likewise, I'm more than happy to answer emails if anyone has any technology or international relations related questions. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and just same here. I'm also happy to answer any further questions. You guys can reach out to us on LinkedIn and practice your slide-ins if you want or anything. But yeah, just wishing you guys the best of luck, and I think you're going to be fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Natasha, Tia, and Kushi. Have a wonderful evening. We look forward to our next interaction with more students and more questions. And we will challenge each other continuously.
Thank you so much. See you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Nice to meet you all.
You too. See ya.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank you, Lakshmiji. I didn't get a chance to bring you in, but we'll, as we keep moving, we'll do that. All right. Chalo. Go have lunch. I hope you enjoyed. In our next meeting, we will discuss. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.